Welcome to the Keeping It Real Estate podcast with me, Allie Vasquez. I am the team leader of the Vasquez team of Caris Realty Group based out of Maryland. Today, we're going to start a new series where we explore a city in the state of Maryland and talk about all the important things that need to be known about it. We're going to start with Columbia, Maryland. What county is that in, Allison? Come on, it's so easy.
Washington?
No, it is in Howard County. Fun fact, Howard County has some extremely high taxes. It also has some really high priced real estate. However, I think you would probably be surprised to know that the median sales price for Howard County is $435,000. That really shocked me, but when you take into account how many condos and how many townhouses there are, that does seem to kind of level out the playing field. Not so fun fact, I've had a lot of buyers say, I want to investigate what kind of Howard County specific programs are out there as far as grants, and spoiler alert, there are none. Howard County don't need your money, and they are not really being very generous when it comes to the first-time home buyers. Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, restaurants and food. What is going on in Columbia? I really enjoy the Columbia restaurant scene. One of the best places that I continuously go to there is called the Victoria Gastro Pub. It's kind of like an upscale pub dining situation. I really, really enjoy it. Another one that really just lit my heart up was when the Food Market, one of my favorite places to eat in Baltimore, in Hamden, came to Columbia. If you haven't been to the Food Market, go and try every single small plate and then tell me what you think. Best wings, maybe best wings I've ever had in my life, not gonna lie. The Food Market, oh, so good. Columbia also has some OG fancy favorites such as Seasons 52 and Stanford Grill. We know these places, they're kind of all around this area in Maryland and they're good. Columbia also has some of the more upscale OG places like Stanford Grill and Seasons 52. Those are still out there, those are obviously delicious. If you're looking for something a little more off the beaten path that is just hands down absolutely freaking delicious every time I go, the Corner Stable for barbecue. Get the ribs, you won't regret it. I know ribs are something that if they're bad, they're really, really bad. These ribs are on point every single time. Columbia, if you ask me, is just kind of a great wholesome option for places to live. It is the suburbs on steroids. It is cookie cutter, but not in a bad way. It is consistent, it is predictable, and it is low risk. I really, really love Columbia. Fun fact, once I had a buyer who was looking in Columbia and I looked at 97 houses with them in Columbia. So I'm very familiar with the landscape. I've been into every kind of house. If you have any questions, I'm definitely the person to ask. But one buyer, almost 100 houses, and I can tell you that it is so predictable and just there's something there for everyone. I've been in the condos, I've been in the townhouses, I've been in the 55 plus communities, and there's just a really great standard of living that's in Columbia. Columbia was ranked the number 7 place to live for young professionals in the United States. So that's really saying something if that's the vibe that you're going for. Another thing that Columbia is very well known for are their parks. When you purchase property in Columbia, there's usually a tax that goes along with it that you are paying toward maintaining the park system. And I really appreciate that they have kept enough of the area like built up and rural, but also suburban. And then they also have these amazing parks that are beautifully maintained. Yes, you are paying higher taxes all around, but it's one of those things where you can actually see where your tax dollars are going and into maintaining these beautiful parks. One of the best parks in Columbia is the Columbia Sports Park. It has a full 18-hole miniature golf course, batting cages, pavilions, and obviously playgrounds, lots and lots of different things, all on a higher scale than your normal neighborhood park. It's really one of the sights that you need to see when you go there. Another thing that people tend to glaze over these days is the Columbia Mall. Like, I know that malls are dead. I know that malls are dying. But if you go to the Columbia Mall, that is one of the ones that will stay there forever because it is kind of the nexus of good shopping, and good shopping in pretty much, the Frederick Mall ain't doing much. The Frederick Mall scene ain't doing much. We all know that. It has not been doing much since I was a teenager. Washington County is a little bit far. Montgomery County might be a little bit far. The Columbia Mall still has a lot of really great shops that you can't get anywhere. And it's definitely thriving. It has all the chain restaurants too. A girl goes crazy for her basic Cheesecake Factory, and it's there. You can find it. and we're thriving. If you are living your best life in Colombia, how close are you to any kind of shopping or any kind of grocery stores? From what I've seen, you're about 10 minutes maximum. In some of the communities, they've really built up the live where you work situation, but you are always just a hop, skip, and a jump from any kind of shopping, any kind of grocery stores, any kind of civilization, and that's what makes Colombia so great.
So Allie, as you know, I live in Frederick, and there's not much happening in the shopping area over there. What would you say is the best stores in the Columbia Mall?
Okay, so there's obviously like your normal mall, the ones that we have in Frederick that are mediocre at best. But I definitely would say there's a little bit more upscale shopping. There's Anthropologie, there's Coach, there's Lululemon, there's Lovesac. If you're not familiar with Lovesac and their furniture, go online, see how expensive it is, run to the store, try it out. It is so fun. I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to, with a good conscience, be able to spend that kind of money, but do I fantasize about it? Yes, but they definitely have some of the regular mall fare and enough upscale options to make it feel like a really great alternative for shopping in kind of a shopping desert that we have now that malls are kind of a little bit passe. The one thing to keep in mind is that Howard County does have some of the highest property taxes in the entire state. So you're adding on a lot of extras, especially if you're building in Howard County. It can be prohibitively expensive. So definitely research all of the ins and outs of the different kinds of taxes that there are in Howard County before you pick up and decide to move to Columbia. Thanks for stopping by and exploring Columbia with me on the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. I can't wait to see you next time.